Some of them older than me. And they're feeling sad because somebody don't like them or something. I don't know what, I forget what it was. But I know that's basically what it was. They're not accepted. Well, them other people that didn't accept them, they run off from where they was to come over here, and they hugging boss man, right? But all that's temporary. See, because you know the children now in school, in the colleges, this generation, see, all of them are born and bred here in America. That means they're kind of like us. And they're not afraid like their parents. Their parents might be afraid, you know what I mean, but they're not. Those are the people, we don't know where our large support is going to come from, but we know it's going to come. And also, we don't technically care about what they or them, because we come from a tradition that, man, black people, just from a black perspective, have went through so much in America, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. It is hardly nobody, there's a few people in the world that have suffered big tragedies, but this is a super duper tragedy. Because if they did this to the Jews always knew they was Jews. If they was persecuted for that, they knew they was Jews, and so sometimes the persecution made them more Jewish than they was before, right? Well, they didn't do us like that. And this stuff, I'll move toward a close. This stuff about fighting each other, just like Dr. Franklin said, boy, look here, he was on the money. But we've been knowing that all along, and we've been teaching that. Ain't nobody, we're not going to fight any other Negroes and the white man just drive off to heaven somewhere. Or we're not going to let him, what he'll do, we'll hook you up. That's why I made sure my sons didn't get involved. I said, you're dumb. You niggas don't know nothing. You stay out of my business. That's what I told them. You stay out of this because you don't know nothing. You don't know nothing about what's going on. But, of course, they was just physically mad. Well, your madness, boss man will come give you what you need, and he done already gave him what he got and trained him, and he doesn't care who kills who. It'll weaken both of you. He won't have to pay him no extra money for killing you because you done killed him, and y'all will all be dead. It's the oldest, simplest, dumbest thing you can do. Divide, conquer, and rule. This is why we said absolutely not. In that whole history, from pre-Civil War and all of that, you know, that's something we're going to carry. I remember I had a great uncle. He was born the year the stars fell. So my father's telling me all of this. So I just went to it was 1831, 1833. I just went to the almanac and studied the greatest meteor shower of recent times. It was 1831 or 1833, one of the two. My father was telling me exactly right. Our great uncle, I don't remember what year, but it was the year the stars fell. You know, to them, and he said they was bouncing around like balls. That means the meteors, it was a meteor shower that hit the earth. Now, the Negro was not scientific. He didn't know that those were meteors, meteorites. All he knew is they lit up and the stars fell. So when the Negroes tell about it, yeah, he was born the year the stars fell. So everybody knew when it was. You see? Okay, other people don't care nothing about that. We do. I do. That stuff means something. It don't make no difference whether they quit. They can go quit. They can go quit. They can take a salary. They can give up. They can feel sad. They can do anything they want. That's fine. Go ahead. We're not going to do it. And we know we're fortunate, when it uses the word when we read the ayat that we always read about fortunate, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. Of course, it's calling on Allah and working righteous deeds, amilu salihat. And then saying, I'm proud to be a Muslim. I'm not scared of being a Muslim. I'm scared. I'm going to go hide. Or I feel depressed. The niggas is feeling depressed because somebody that don't know nothing about Islam but the language, right, is not inviting them. And now they feel sad. Well, that's just too bad. That's tragic. I'm not going with them. Anybody else, everybody's free to go. I'm not going with them Negroes. Number one, we have as good a history as anybody in the world, and we have learned to put it in a language and a culture that everybody is drawn to it. I don't care where you go. They like Negro spirituals. They even like that goobly bop stuff the niggas is doing now. I don't like that, but that's okay. It's okay. They could do it. Don't mean nothing to me. But all that other stuff, hey man, God gave us something special. No doubt about it. That nobody had been able to take out. They've been trying to squeeze it out, copy it, you know what I mean? Elvis Presley get to be famous because he tried to sing like a Negro, right? And he can't. I said, boy, he don't sound. Oh my goodness, that boy don't sound like nothing. And he said, a nigga can't do nothing. That's in the early days, but shine my shoes. But by the time he out there in Vegas and Hollywood, guess what? That environment takes all that. He ain't talking that old Dixie stuff no more. He didn't integrate it into the anyway. Look, Allah done hooked us up, man. And the ability to describe the things that we have dealt with, it speaks to all humanity. That's why they like niggas all over the world. Because our description of whatever it is we're describing, and they don't know the language, but they sure feel, what we've been talking about anyway. So, I'm not going to, I'll pass over Islamic Institute for Counter-Zionist American Psychological Warfare. Victory of Islam over the Shah, victory of Islam over the combined forces of American Zionism. Right now, our war is not particularly with Boss Man. Boss Man taking over America. And it took him a little while to get it. I mean, he was at different stages. But they didn't have it in 1956 when Eisenhower made sure that Israel had to take it easy with Egypt and the Suez Canal and Britain and all of that. Okay. But by 68, when they sunk the, what's that ship? They hit, the 68, the Zionists hit one of the American ships, and I'll think of it in a minute. Yeah, I think it was around 68 or something. But anyway, they didn't say much about that. So they've been slowly, now they got their throat around boss man's neck. And everything they do to us, they teach boss man now, everything. They teach him about oppressing people, and it's Palestinian style oppression that we're getting. Not old time Eurocentric, but this is Zionist hatred. You know what I mean? Head busting, back breaking, anyway. Psychological guerrilla warfare has worked. What we've done here in America has worked. It's worked. We've already done that. We're going into a new stage, but this has all worked. Let me say that again. It's all worked, and it worked well. We still have to, one of our greatest characteristics is still sabr, patience. Because see, they say getting married is perfection of half of your faith. But there's another one say, wa sabru wa nifsul iman. Patience is half of faith. This is hadith to say that. Okay. So, we already are serving a great purpose in expressing who we are and what we're about. We're already a model for people to follow. They can't pretend like don't nobody know what's going on. In fact, everybody knows what's going on. And we done taught everybody already, you can tell the boss man to kiss your behind, ain't nothing he can do about it. And guess what? It seems like his hands, it seems like he's paralyzed. And the more he's paralyzed, the more fun we make of him. That's our gift, right? You clown somebody. The Russians did a study on laughing and what have you, and they come up with, they study all that stuff too. You want to disarm somebody, get them laughing, right? You want to take fear out of people, just like the hadith say, right? Our hadith say exactly the same thing. You get people to laugh at that Zionist murderer, right? And you're not as scared when you laugh at him. You don't think of everything he gonna do to you. You think of all this dumb stuff. Look what's happening to the fool. Boy, he can't thread a needle. I'm telling you, things don't look bad. Don't look good for boss man, right? Technically, this is our time. And excuse me for not being exact, but I just wanted to mention those few things about where we are as a people. And that there's a reason for the stages that we're in. And there's a reason why we have remembered all of those people that went before us. They always say you're standing on that. Well, we are. Other people are ashamed of it. Them old coons, they ashamed of, what their people was going through. And what they adopted, the sounds that they made, there was sounds of all oppression. People have the same things, you know. What did the British? The British outlawed the Irish and the Scots playing bagpipes. What does bagpipes sound like? The bluesiest, most melancholy, right? Them bagpipes that people be blowing them when them long notes, that is melancholy, but it gives them people enough strength to fight an oppressor for 800 years plus and never give up. That's why the people are always trying to change your language and culture, right? So they outlaw that stuff that you like. Can you imagine? The French came to Algeria in 1830. By 1845, they had outlawed Arabic in Algeria. And